Located some 20 miles off the coast of Belize, Turneffe Atoll is the largest and most biologically diverse marine reserve in the Western Hemisphere. The reserve is 30 miles in length and 10 miles in breadth. It encompasses lagoons and creeks which run through more than 150 mangrove islands and several keys.
Out here we have a myriad of wildlife, whether it includes crocodiles, the American saltwater crocodile, manatees, dolphins, turtles, a high conch population, a high lobster population, finfish of all species. What many Belizeans don't realize.
Valdemar Andrade is the executive director of Turneffe Atoll Sustainability Association, TASA, a non-governmental association formed in 2013. TASA's primary purpose is to work with stakeholders to promote the sustainable use and conservation of the marine reserve. TASA is guided by the Turneffe Atoll Marine Reserve Management Plan, which focuses on natural resource management, data collection, outreach and education initiatives, and infrastructure.
Turneff is a marine reserve, so it's a fisheries management tool. So our main mandate is to work with the stakeholders to ensure their sustainability, so we can see how they can continue to make their living off Turneff, whether it's the 756 fishers, the resorts that work out here, and about 6 to 8 tourism operations from Key Carker, San Pedro, Belize City that come out here on a regular basis.
And in order to sustain the reserve's marine biodiversity without negatively impacting the livelihoods of some 700 plus fishers, fisheries regulations are being implemented and enforced.
So we work with them on harvest rules, how they participate out here. 85% of the area you can fish under certain regulations. We have certain conservation zones in which you can only fish certain species. We have some complete no-take zones, which includes a manatee preservation area. And so we look at what harvest rules they use, what kind of gear types do they use, how much of it do they deploy, and where do they deploy them. We also work with them on best practices in how they actually do their fishing or do their tourism. We prepare guidelines for developers, and so we share also with the developers so that they understand that you can develop, but what guidelines you use for Turneff as a marine reserve.
Consistent networking between TASA, the Belize Coast Guard, and Fisheries Department is key for the N.G.O. to carry out its mandate, especially where enforcement is concerned. Marine Rangers conduct daily patrol, at least 25 patrols per month.
When we do patrol, we look out for fisheries enforcement, the users of the atoll, ensuring that they're following the rules and regulations, as well as for developments going on the atoll. How we manage that is by using our 3 strategic locations. We have bases on the atoll. So we have a base at Margaret Key, one at Calabash, and one at Key Bokel. So each base has a jurisdiction that they are allowed to patrol.
News 5 joined Coast Guard officials, fisheries officers, and TASA rangers on patrol. We encountered several vessels with fishermen primarily from northern villages such as Copperbang and Shanush. In one vessel, the older fishermen were hiding 2 minors, relatives of theirs. The discovery was made after a TASA officer realized that there was an extra bucket filled with clothes which belonged to none of the fishermen who had identified themselves. The 2 boys, one aged 15 and the other 17, revealed themselves later. The captain is seen worrying because having a minor on board a vessel licensed for commercial fishing is an offense.
By law, we are not allowed to license anyone under the age of 18, right? These 2 minors that we encountered yesterday, of course, we had to document them first and foremost as it relates to their age, their names, and do the basic data gathering from them. It is illegal for anyone under the age of 18 to be engaged in commercial fishing without a valid license, because we don't issue license to them. In this case, what we will be doing moving forward is that we have to, in order for us to prosecute the kids, we have to take them to juvenile court. And there's a lot of red tape there because one of the kids, both his mom and his dad, is no longer in his life. All right? Because the one that is 17, we have met him on a number of occasions before. It's the first encounter I had yesterday with the other kid who is about, 15, 16, something like that. So in this case, we have to, whenever I go back to the department on Monday, I will sit with my superiors and we'll have to make a decision. One thing I can assure you is that the captain definitely will be charged for the 2 aiding and abetting charges for the kids.
The captain is facing charges for employing an individual without a valid fisher folk license. The miners were escorted back to Belize City. Hipolito, Novelo, News 5.